there everyone, it's Harry, your coach of the Cerulean City Mewtwo. I'm here with Rory, coach of the Dundee Dittos. How you going, Rory?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Thanks very much. Good to be going back onto this again. Another wee collab.
Yeah, so for those of you that didn't watch it, we did do a draft league analysis at the start of the season, which we will put our links in the description, which explains what we drafted and why. You can see our rosters on either side. We're going to be going through each of our 7 matches, all the trades we've made this season, and just pointing out what's been working well, what hasn't, and how our season's been going in general, and what we need to do to make sure that we're in there at the thick end of the season, playing in playoffs. Alright, so what we're going to do first, we are going to go through Rory's week 1 match, and then we'll go on to mine, and whenever we make any trades, we'll highlight that as well, and give a bit of an explanation, because we understand when we do put up our matches, it's mostly just about the matches, not so much about how the season's running in general. Alright, so week 1, Rory did have a bit of an initiation against the Commissioner, so he was up against Sen and the Calexico Blazikins. I'll pop that up just here. Yeah, so this was an interesting start where you've got a double switch where Aromatisse is in against Regigigas. Switches into Regigigas as he switches out into his Slowking Galar. Aromatisse was carrying a bit of tech, so it did have Skill Link, but obviously was probably more planned for the Slowbro. You had a good read here knowing that Zarude was coming in, but you second guessed yourself, and instead of switching out to Noivern, went for the knockoff into the Zarude and knocked off those black glasses.
Yeah. And then here, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think it was either a double switch, both of us in, and I kind of guessed to myself that he thought I would swap out, so I went for the Meteor Beam just to get some damage off on the Rotom. Basically thinking that he probably wouldn't use the electric move if he knew that I was going to swap out probably into my own Rotom. So yeah. Shadow Ball seemed to be the best bet.
He still had Seismitoad at that stage as well, I think. And I think he was choice locked from memory. Was he
Yeah, he was Specs, yeah.
Specs. Yeah, so
this went downhill, basically. Yeah, so I had a weird set for Tailwind, and as you can see, Flame Charge on Marowak. So with the Tailwind, it let Marowak outspeed a few things, and then after a couple of Flame Charges, if need be, I could outspeed a lot. And I just played it very poorly. U-turned straight into a knockoff, which obviously killed me. And then this was basically my last attempt. I think this is actually the last move of the game. Yeah, it is. The only way I could possibly do it was if he missed the move and went for a Topmice. So that wasn't great. Like you can say, definitely an initiation. I think this was rigged, to be honest. I think who wrote it again? Who did the schedule again? That was you, wasn't it? Yeah, it was definitely rigged.
It wouldn't have been me. I would have done that.
So yeah, I felt it was rigged. No, it was. It is what it is, basically. Yeah, a tough week to start off. Like I say, I've never done anything on YouTube before. If you listen to my voice when we did our collab, you hear I am shaky as hell. So yeah, I was nervous, and then we'll see in a minute that I actually was playing with a 3-second delay on everything because I only had one screen at the time. Again,
you got that fixed for week 3, I think.
Yeah, I got it fixed for week 3 after the week 2 shambles. I basically made it my mission for the next week to get another screen but we'll cover that soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, not really much to say about week 1. It was rough.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
We'll get into my week 1. So this was quite a long match. So I was against Badass Frostlass, the Indiana Tracers. So this was really long. Nidoking got put on a timer early, getting burnt by the Weezing. Jigglypuff absolutely walled my Dragapult set, which was really frustrating. I had to keep bringing in Dragapult because it was my answer to a lot of his, mostly Cinderace. It was a good answer to his Cinderace because he could only really hit me with Sucker Punch. Yeah, the Jigglypuff kept coming out, and it was just, kind of frustrating. But basically, towards the end, I just needed to keep getting in Nidoking. Obviously, it being on a timer made things quite tricky.
Yeah, I mean, a burn isn't as bad as a toxic timer, but especially for a special attacker. I mean, this, watching it back, you look at it and you're going, how on earth is a Jigglypuff just completely walled Dragon Ball? And it just did, which was just amazing
I
to
knew
watch.
it was an option
when I first saw it.
But at the same time, I wasn't terrified of Jigglypuff. But the way he played it was really well. Like, he took some risks and they sort of paid off. Looking back, there were ways around it. I needed to use Volt Switch on Cobalion more, which I didn't do. Yeah, this was just... we just sort of went round in circles for a long time. Blastoise being burnt was really frustrating. It was choice banded, so I knew that ground moves were really spammable against his team, so high horsepower did a lot, but obviously being burnt was hard. He had the electric seed on his Tapu Koko to raise its defense, which meant I could do even less, but it was still really helpful. Glastrier was still helpful even though it was burnt, because it meant that he couldn't keep setting up his Tapu Koko, and I could just keep Tapu Koko in range of Nidoking, even though he had used Carmine and Roost. I think maybe if he kept using Carmine, Roost and let me just die to burn, maybe that would have been an option, but I think he was probably worried that I would just double out to Nidoking, which lucky I didn't, because obviously he had stored power, which would have killed me. But yeah, Nidoking could just come in, take care of that threat. Yeah, Nidoking did a lot of work. I think he realised pre-game that Scarf Nidoking was going to do a lot of work, and it obviously did.
Yeah, Nidoking's no joke, and the fact that you got it,
I got it very late.
How late in the draft?
Yeah,
quite late in the draft.
I think it was like in the last 2 or 3 rounds. It just got left sitting there.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
At this point, he just needs to sack something. Against the Nidoking, he chose Weezing to go down. Obviously, I'm going to die to the burn the next turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was pretty much, even though Nidoking went down, like by this stage it had gotten 3 kills. Turns out all I needed at the end was my trusty Tangela, which I think I remember watching his side back. Like, does Cinderace kill Tangela? No. No, it doesn't.
No, nothing kills Tangela.
Yeah, so you can see here it does. Yeah, just over half.
So stupid.
And then I think his only attack on Jigglypuff was knockoff. By this stage, I think I had almost gotten to the stage where I really wasn't sure if I could win, because Nidoking being on a timer, and yeah, I kind of had to take some risks to get Nidoking in, just to get that get one more kill. In hindsight, maybe he probably needed to preserve Weezing for a bit longer to try and keep Weezing alive until Nidoking was dead. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that for a week 1. I don't think Indiana Traces have lost another game since. Maybe they've lost 1. I think they might. I think that was their only loss, actually. I don't think they've played week 7 yet. So yeah, they're on a really good run. So I was happy to get that win at the start.
Yeah, Indiana Tracers. Come on, open up. Thank you. No, they've not lost. They have played their week 7.
Okay. Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
obviously won their 6 games after, so I'm happy to get that. You made some trades after this one. So
Yeah, I
you
did.
you got rid of Silvally, Stan Slash, Vulpix, and Absol. Got rid of all of them and then replaced them with really you're trying to get some value down low so you could fit in that Darmanitan Galar at the top, which was really cool. But I think you might have got the trade of the season so far, picking up Gloom.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll see that later on. But yeah, so my thing was basically if you go and watch the video that we did for the draft analysis, I sit there and I'm saying, oh, I love versatility in a team and blah 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 blah. Ignore it. It's lies. That's not what I needed. I basically needed something to come in and just punt, just come in and do one job and just smack things, because I don't really have any instant attacking presence other than Noivern's base special attacks. What? I mean, sorry, not fast speed. So Noivern's base special attacks 97. Other than that, it's like.
But it's got the ability to run like specs and stuff. Whereas, I mean, Rotom's not too bad, but sometimes you want it for that versatility. Celesteela needs a little bit of setup usually to really get going. Marowak, if it's not in Trick Room, needs a bit of setup. So, yeah, you're right. I think just based on your speed tiers and general attack stats, yeah, Darmanitan definitely fitted a role that you probably needed.
Yeah, and then I mean, I even said in my my week 2 video, I just went over the trades quickly, and I was like, so I've actually seen yourself use Meowstic quite well.
Yep.
A prankster Pokemon would definitely help my team. Like even screens alone would help my team with the setup and the longevity of Pokemon, especially with Aromatisse behind screens. It's just unbreakable. Trick. Well, I've used Trick already. Just things like that. It's been quite good, and then I mean it's got a respectable speed by itself. So yeah, there's Torracat. So pardon me. There's Torracat. So Intimidate, Parting Shot, decent move pool, can burn things, get Fake Out. Yeah, it's and fairly bulky by itself. So yeah, that's. I was about to say it's proved itself to be quite good, but it fits the role. I've just not really used it that well so far.
There's definitely 3 Pokemon down below. Like I think though all 4 of those are ones that you're more likely to use. Like you've definitely got a bit of versatility there.
Yeah, and then of course, as you mentioned, we have Gloom, which is just doing so well. Put it in perspective, Gloom is my kill leader with 8 kills and only 1 death. So yeah, it's doing really well. I'm really happy with them. I had used Gloom before, so that's why I kind of want to pick it up. But yeah, won't spoil anything. We'll go through the rest of the games on how it's done things. So my week 2 now, I suppose.
All right, so you're up against Scoots here in the Mississippi Morpecos. I think you debuted quite a few of your new Pokemon, I think.
Darmanitan, definitely.
Yeah.
Torracat. Yeah, there we go. Just Darmanitan and Torracat. Yeah, that would be it, because I brought the rest of them against Sen. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't really want to talk about this game so much, to be brutally honest. It went very well at that point there. I just sacked off Marowak because I didn't want to swap out into something, basically Aromatisse, and give it the chance to set up agility and then have weakness policy, so I thought I'd just sack it off. I had Darmanitan, I can't remember, we'll have to see it when I go back. Oh no, it was double banded because Noivern was choice scarfed.
Yep.
So Darmanitan was able to outspeed the Moltres without anything.
Yeah, and you can just see the stupid damage on the Milotic because of the double band.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. I was able to get there. Darmanitan managed to kill the Milotic. That's just unheard of. So yeah, I mean, it got to this point. His Kangaskhan was very annoying. That was his wish passing Pokemon. And as you see here, I take way too long to do anything. And I'm checking a calc here. I bring in, I believe I bring in the Amatan here. And Stones dig into me. Gets a wee bit of leftovers recovery. And
Yeah.
the timer runs out.
Yeah, so you're in quite a good position there, but obviously, running out of time wasn't good. And that was sort of the last straw, and you ended up getting the extra monitor because obviously you were getting that, 3-second delay or whatever it was every single turn, which obviously wasn't very helpful.
Yes. Yeah, so it adds up. I mean, 10 turns in, you've lost 30 seconds on your personal timer. And then again, I wasn't quite used to playing on YouTube. Usually been doing it on Showdown, so I wasn't used to not being able to see exact percentages and go back, just check the chat at the side and double check everything. So it took a wee bit of a while because I was annoyed when I set this up. I used it in the TV in the other room, and it worked on that, and then the TV in this room, it didn't want to work, so I had no spare monitor. So after losing that, not gonna lie, I was very salty, very annoyed, and I basically didn't do anything, just searched for a monitor that would suit. So got one now, and we're not losing to timer ever again, because that hurt me deep inside. That really hurt.
Yeah, and then it was obviously frustrating. I think just sort of just a tough way to start. First two matches, obviously you picked up your capture card not long before the season started, so you didn't get a lot of time to have any practice working with the time or anything like that, so it's understandable. My week 2 was up against Pat Mac and the Sacramento Sand Slash. This was a really tough matchup for me, but I thought I actually prepped pretty well. I was really happy with the team that I brought for this match. It was a very fast-paced match. There wasn't really many turns that I would say mattered. Probably one that was, huge that'll come up in a minute. But yeah, we got rid of Bronzong really early, which just really opened the door for my choice banded Azumarill. At this stage, I'd kind of had to sack something every time that Pangoro came in. I did have a Choppleberry on Cobalion to give me one free switch in. At this stage, I'd already used it. This time he brings it in and takes out Cobalion, which I was happy to do because I wanted to get my Azumarill in for free because I knew that it was picking up a kill. I knew that every time I could get Azumarill in now, I was probably going to get a kill. Go for the play rough. He actually makes a really, really bad play here and brings in Whimsicott, which I was really happy with, except I missed. And then I had to sack Umbreon, which I shouldn't have had to do because I'd already sacked something. And then, bring in Azumarill again, which takes out his Hatterene. So he had a kind of weird Hatterene set, so it was defensive with a Keyberry, which he probably should have done the first time just to scout that I was choice banded. Maybe he was worried about Belly Drum at this stage, but yeah, it does massive damage. He takes a Keyberry, which doesn't matter. And then dies. He knows that anything he switches in dies to a play rough anyway, so there's not really much he can do here. And Hatterene's obviously pretty useless at this point. But obviously, I'm playing from well behind. Every time something dies, he can just bring in that Whimsicott and get a kill, which was unfortunate because obviously should have died much earlier. I did have one more chance. He was locked into Energy Ball. I brought in Dragapult. I knew that Dragon Darts was going to kill anything that he switches in. I should have Dragon Dance. That was a big misplay on my end. But but I just chose to take the kill. I was pretty tilted in this match, to be honest. Once I'd missed that player up and I saw that Whimsicott was specs, I was just really frustrated. So I was pretty disappointed with how I played this. And then to make matters even worse, I chose to use Substitute. His Whimsicott being choice specs, obviously he's going to be Infiltrator. So he's like, sweet, he used Sub, that's great. I can just kill him with Moonblast, and then, yeah, Whimsicott ends up with 3 kills when it actually should have died on the first time it switched in. The Calc's Red, I think it was doing like 170% damage or something crazy like that. So I was, I was in a fair mood through that match.
Yeah, you're in a fair mood after it as well.
Yeah. I'm still salty because Patback hasn't lost, and I'm like, that was a match I felt I had in the bag. I was actually really confident. I wasn't confident I think in the early stages of prep, but once I'd built my team, I was actually pretty happy with my chances, and I thought that the way the game sort of started, I'm like, yep, I know what his sets are, I know what he's setting up for, I've got this. I had a game plan, it was all going well, and then all of a sudden it was going not well at all.
Yeah, week 2 wasn't great for either of us, but we'll move on. Move on to week 3.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll get into Rory's week 3 match.
Yeah. So my week 3 match was I looked at the matchup. I was just thinking, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, it's just so broken. So Sir Jorge has Urshifu single strike with Wicked Blow being allowed. He's got Metagross, Salamence, he had Blacephalon, Grimmsnarl, and I'm just looking at the team going, I can't do anything. Like, I physically can't do anything here. So here, this is where Gloom makes its debut, and I brought a filthy set with Sub, Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, and Moonblast. I had worked out that I could basically live Wicked Blows and KO Urshifu with Moonblast, like no questions asked.
Yeah,
like I could live a lot from Wicked Blow and then do it. So that was basically what Urshifu was then. And then I saw this Metagross come out. We're looking at the rest of the team. Instantly knew it was a weakness policy agility set, and refused point blank to use knockoff or Earth Power.
That was a good call.
Whatever I had on it. So yeah, and then as you can see here, I basically swapped in and out. I think I went from Gloom to Aromatisse to Seismitoad to take the Meteor Mash and Zen Headbutts accordingly. This point here, I believe I wish passed back into Gloom because I knew I had to keep Gloom healthy because
yeah,
it was basically
and that was a massive. I think that was
fair.
probably the biggest moment in the match for me. Gloom coming in on the spikes and then getting the Wish health back. I thought that was the point where you looked at what was left and thought, yeah, Gloom's going to be a massive problem at this stage.
Yeah, and then I knew all he had to do was a poison move. I'd be happy if he used the water move, to be honest, because I got the Leech Seed recovery.
Yep.
But at this point, I was like, right, that thing could have Thunder Wave. I'd paralyzed, so I just went for the Meteor Beam. It had a bit of chip damage, I believe, from Leech Seed, maybe 2 turns.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, Meteor Beam kills. Now, for me, if I was him, I would have brought out either Blacephalon or Salamence here.
Yeah.
Because I haven't used the Totemize.
Yeah, Blacephalon not coming out here was a bit, I thought it was a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. When I first saw Avalor come out, I thought maybe, right, Blacephalon must be sashed, and he needs to get rid of the rocks first. So I thought, right, if I actually get off 2 Totemizes here, I can outspeed everything.
Yep.
That includes Scarf Blacephalon, so I outspeed literally everything that could possibly be on the field. So I was like, we'll get these 2 off. We'll try. What did I do? I can't remember if I did Meteor Beam or Flamethrower after this. And I think flamethrower, wasn't it? Oh,
Yeah, it was.
flamethrower.
This was kind of funny. It made your life just that little bit harder.
I know.
It was entertaining because he's like, oh, usually this would be a bad thing, but Jorge knew very well that this was actually really good. Getting the burn on Avalug meant that you wouldn't get the beast boost, which
I know. I was so sad.
Yeah,
That's such a stupid mechanic.
Yeah, it was kind of hilarious.
It was so painful because I was like, I would have done so much more. I don't think I would have KO'd, actually, a KO, because I'm pretty sure it was a max HP Salamence, but
Yeah.
I would not have KO'd the Salamence at this point, but I would have got so much more health off of it. I mean, a flinch there would have been fantastic, but unfortunately we didn't get that. So, yeah, not great. I think there I just sacked off Aromatisse because all I had to do was get in my...
Noivern, I think.
Yeah, that.
I think, yeah.
Oh, did I? I can't remember if I did or not. No,
Yeah,
I did.
think,
I did,
yeah, you kind of second guessed yourself a couple of times in these turns. I think you might have calced that as well, making sure that Draco Meteor was going to kill, which it obviously did.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't do anything else. What did I have? Boom Burst, Air Slash, and Flamethrower. No,
Yep.
No, I had big moves on that game. I had Hurricane and Hurricane and whatever. But yeah, so at this point, I was like, right, so Gloom is basically my only way to kill this thing, because I was locked into Draco Meteor.
Yeah, and you had
my best way to kill this thing.
You're at -2 as well, so you sacked off Seismitoad. At this point, I think you could have just gone into Noivern, but I think it was more you knew that Gloom could survive a hit, had Moonblast, and I think you just wanted to give Gloom a kill, really.
I wanted to award Gloom with the kill it deserved, right? Because it got its Leech Seed kill. I was like, this was what this was for. Oh, it's a kill. Oh, they're paralyzed. Oh no! And I was so upset. I was like, oh, Gloom, you've just been absolutely robbed of one of the best kills in the game. That could have been one of the best kills of the entire draft.
Yeah, and then I think you got a little bit nervous here because you thought, hang on, if I miss this, it's game over.
Yeah, it is, because I looked at it and I was like, right, Hurricane's got less of a chance to hit. What other moves did I have? Boom Burst. Boom Burst doesn't kill. Hurricane's got less of a chance to hit. Flamethrower doesn't kill. I was like, I have to hit Draco Meteor. And I did, and it managed to get the KO, and I was so... Honestly, I was so happy. I was like, thank God Draco Meteor hit.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'd been very upset, because Gloom basically got robbed of a kill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely delighted with that. The amount of prep that went into that throughout the week. What did I go through? 6, 7?
Yeah,
8
that's a
teams?
hard one. Jorge's got a really scary team. The pairing of Urshifu and Salamence, and Blacephalon, like, they're kind of hard to, prep around. But yeah, Gloom was key there. I think, it really justified that trade you made 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, very happy with that trade.
Alright,
So,
we'll get into
what happened with your week 3?
Yep, get into my week 3. So I was up against Nashville Nidoking. All I put in the highlights this week was Azumarill. So I did bring Steel Roller on Azumarill to get rid of the Misty Terrain, which I didn't end up having to do because Tapu Fini came back in a second time on the turn that Misty Terrain ended, so I could just go straight for Toxic, and that was the whole plan. Use Steel Roller, get rid of the Misty Terrain, use Toxic so it couldn't spam those Carmines. Had Sap Sipper. He brought Grass moves on like 4 of his Pokemon, I think, which was convenient.
Convenient.
It was convenient because I think it got to a point where once I'd gotten a couple of kills, he didn't really have many options to hit me with because he had, I think, a big mix of water, ice, dark, and fire. So obviously, his main attacks were moves that I resisted, and then obviously immune to grass as well. So a big combination of the attacks that he was able to use weren't doing any damage. So I could just chip down the Tapu Fini here. I was at +1. He didn't want to switch anything into me, so I could just basically just sit there, really.
Yeah. I mean that was good tech. I felt the steel roller for the for getting rid of the terrain, and then having your own toxic to utilize the once the terrain's gone. That's it worked well together. I can't remember how offensive you were.
It was none at all. It was max HP, max special defense, stat sipper, citrus berry. So its attack stat was quite low. Obviously, he hit me with the grass knot on the first turn, so my my attack was decent.
Yeah, you can see that right there.
Yeah, takes out Claydol. He's got rocks were up at this stage as well. Because there was just a lot of pivoting around early. He killed my Dragapult on the first turn with a surprise Life Orb, like Adamant max attacker Powden, and then I died to Sandstorm. But yeah, once I got those rocks up, I could just keep pivoting around. I had a lot of answers to his threats, and then I really wanted to get Trapinch for some kills, but it never hit the field. It just sat there waiting for an opportunity. But once I got Azumarill in and realized that he couldn't pressure me out, I could just stay in and just keep chipping away.
Yeah. What was that? Four kills in a row?
Yeah, so Nidoking got the first two. I think it killed Turcoil, and it finished off Hippowdon, which was quite low after turn 1 when Dragapult hit it. And then it was kind of just pivoting around, and then Azumarill finishing him off. So so at this stage, what did I move on to? Whoops, where did my score go? I moved on to 2-1, and you're sitting at 1-2. So yeah, I was pretty happy with my start to the season. Obviously, the loss that I had was pretty close and unlucky. You obviously started with those 2 losses where you're figuring some things out. You made those trades, but then bounced back in week 3. So I think at this position, we're both feeling, okay.
Yeah, I felt better after the week 3. It was a case of, right, I could now definitely put weeks 1 and 2 down to just lack of experience, basically. Yeah.
All right, we'll get into your week 4. So you're up against champion Braden and the James River Jolteon. So at this stage, we're undefeated. They were 3-0, real scary team. So they had Dracovish. I loved this Dracovish, which I had last season. Switches into Gloom, and takes that infestation, and this was just the start of Braden's nightmare, really.
Yeah, I felt so dirty using this, to be honest. But with the fact of having, I mean, I don't want to say I'm surprised that he brought Dracovish, but the fact that I have a water absorb Pokemon that is Seismitoad there, I'm just surprised that he brought it, to be honest.
I think I don't want to tell him what he should run, because I don't want him to get any better at using Dracovish, but I think he kind of missed a trick with what he could have brought to break your team down a little bit, but he just I think he just brought the wrong set, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the same set that I've used before for Gloom, and this is what made me want to use it. So it's Infestation, Strength Sap, Leech Seed, and 1 attacking move. So you can basically see what happens. Trap them in, Strength Sap, obviously the physical attacker, Strength Sap them so they can't hit me as hard every single time.
Yeah. And I think apart from Salazzle, there wasn't a lot of special offense, because he brought a supportive Jolteon.
Yeah, he brought Jolteon with screens.
Wish.
Oh, sorry, light screen. Was it light screen?
I think maybe light screen, Wish,
Volt Switch,
and I don't remember what the last
Can't
move
remember.
was.
I can't remember if I saw the last move, but yeah. So my concern was in week 1 he'd used the sub-toxic Salazzle.
Yeah.
So I really didn't want that to be a thing. I can't remember the rest of my team.
Yeah, I think you had Infiltrator scarfed. I don't know if
did.
Noivern was scarfed.
No.
I think it was.
It was, and I brought a Psychic to get
Yep.
through the Salazzle basically because I knew that it could.
Yeah, so I
obviously
think
get through.
Noivern was also a good answer to a scarf Dracovish as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had Dracovish in the back basically to do this, but this here, so you've already seen it took. Did it take out? No, it's not taking out anything yet. Oh no, it did. It must have because there's 2 things to.
Snorlax, I think.
I thought Snorlax was. It must be.
Not sure. It
Yeah, it
kills
must have been
Jolteon
actually.
there.
I think must have just missed it. So yeah, it took out Jolteon, it took out Snorlax. There's Dracovish, which is doesn't go down
at this
this
stage,
turn.
he's hoping for flinch and paralysis hacks really, which he gets a little bit, but he needed 2 in a row, which he never got because obviously after a strength sap, there's not a lot he can do to you.
No, so he switches out this turn, and I know that he's going to do that. Oh no, he doesn't switch out that turn. He switches out the next turn,
Yeah.
and I just know that I've just got to keep using strength sap to get whatever comes in, and then go for the infestation to trap it in for the next bit. Because now it's gone and it's basically useless. Yeah, so there you go. What comes in next? Is this Haxorus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he still had a chance here. I think we spoke about it after. Obviously, his chances were pretty low, but I think he just needed to keep spamming Dragon Dance.
Yeah. So after 2 Dragon Dances, he would outsped Noivern. And I managed to get 1 strength sap off. I decided to go for Leech Seed to get me the recurrent health back and chip him down. So now he is faster than Noivern. And because I went for Leech Seed instead of strength sap, he's at +1.
Yeah. And I think he should have just kept pressing Dragon Dance. At this stage, he was pretty frustrated, but the fact that Dragon Claw wasn't a 2-hit KO at that point, I think he needed to get to the point where he could 2-hit KO you really. But yeah. I think I don't know. I don't think he prepped for Gloom, so I don't think he. Yeah, I don't think he, because I don't think he calcs in game, so he probably just didn't have a fair idea of how much he had to boost himself to get rid of Gloom. So if he could get himself to, I think, +2, then I think he could use 2 Dragon Claws to kill you. But obviously, he needed some. I mean, he needed some hacks. That's, you know, you can say what he could have done to give himself a better chance, but at the end of the day, he needed hacks, because as soon as you use strength sap, you know, you're back at full health.
Yeah. Which, you know, I keep saying it, I felt really bad for using it, but I mean, the guy's got a Dracovish, so I will use everything at my disposal to get what I want. If you watch Champion Braden's side, I think it was maybe the last time he puts Dracovish in, he says this is boring. So
yeah,
it's definitely demoralised at that point. And yeah, I get it. I get it entirely. But I wanted to win a game. So
so you're back at
2
yeah, 2-2 at this stage. So I'll go into my week 4. This was a really good game. I think neither of us played amazingly well. This is my second time subbing in front of an Infiltrator, which is actually really funny because I had Golbat and Whimsicott in my Season 2 team, so I know what they do. But yeah, I subbed and Dragon Dance in front of Golbat, and he just goes, okay, I'll just hit you through your sub because I don't care about your sub. So I lose Dragapult early again, which I think was the 4th week in a row where I let it die in the first like 10 turns.
Yeah. You saw your face there when you done it. You shook your head in absolute disgust at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But even here, I probably
cute,
should have still. I should have still switched out this turn and just gone into either Umbreon or Glastrier.
I can't remember, was Glastrier Assault Vest in this game?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would have been obviously the best.
Yeah, it was max HP Adamant Assault Vest.
Yeah. So, I mean,
then there was a lot of, so I'd worked out a lot of his sets by this stage in the game. I knew he was going to defog here, so he was a choice locked Rotom with defog. And his Dragonite wasn't heavy duty boots. I think it was, but I knew he was going to use defog, so I decided to hard switch in my Azumarill. This was a risk, so I went for the Belly Drum. I was tossing up between Play Rough and Belly Drum. Play Rough obviously would have been a better play. And I go for the Belly Drum. If he had Poison Jab, it was a definite kill. He didn't. He had Thunder Punch, which was roll in his favor. I think it was like a 62% chance to kill based on the calcs, I believe. I don't think he ever sent me the calcs, but he just told me it was. But yeah, I'll live on 5, Play Rough, take him out, and yeah, that kind of probably put me from just behind to just in front.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of any Urshifu on another team's definitely going to help you out. So this was good. This was smart here, rather than going for the Play Rough to try and get the hit. So you went for the Aqua Jet to break that multi-scale. So that's really clever.
And this little sequence here was really cool. So he's at +1. So instead of going into Glastrier, which was my main check, it was kind of low. I go into Umbreon because I had Foul Play. And this was actually a huge turn in the match because I go for Foul Play and he goes for Toxic. So this poisons me, synchronizes back to him, and I go to Foul Play, which puts him, quite low. And then I ended up just using Heal Bell after to heal myself anyway. Luckily, my Nidoking was faster than his Golbat, which I should have worked out earlier. Seeing how bulky he was, I should have worked out that Nidoking was faster, but getting rid of Golbat was really important. And as we get to the end game, once I'd gotten rid of Rotom, all I really needed to do was get in. He just refused to let me get in Nidoking. Nidoking was fine getting the last 2 kills once it hit the field, but he just refused to give me an opportunity to get it in. Tangela ends up taking out the Dragonite. I sacked Glastrier. I sent it in because it was going to take more Flare Blitz damage than Tangela was going to, which made sure that Incineroar was in range of Nidoking. But yeah, this was a tight one. It was very long, but it was a tight one. I was happy with it. Nidoking putting in a lot of work again, as it does.
Yep, Nidoking doing Nidoking things.
Yeah. So I was happy with that. And obviously, sitting pretty good at this stage. So I move on to 3-1, which was quite nice.
Yeah, not bad going in at this point. I'm going to be an absolute dick, but I was just about pissing myself laughing there.
With the Dragon Bolt?
It just used like, that game, it was a tight one. It was really long and really tight. And I was like, oh my god.
Dirty-minded.
Oh, the child in me.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think I discussed that with Arts a lot after the game, and we both obviously made some really good plays and some really bad plays. There was nothing in that really. But I think the Azumarill Urshifu little sequence was massive. I got lucky. If I went for Play Rough first and preserved my Citrus Belly for the Belly Drum later on, then that would have been huge for me, because if I was able to break Dragonite's multi-scale later, I would have put him in a really tricky position, because he didn't have on his Dragonite, he was actually pretty passive. It was like Power Punch, Toxic, Roost, and Dual Wing Beat.
Yeah.
So if I set Azumarill up after Urshifu, so if Urshifu switched into a play rough there before I used Belly Drum, if I Belly Drum later in the match, then Azumarill just sweeps. So I could have made life a lot easier for myself, but yeah, he made the right. I made a wrong prediction and he made a right one, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, nice little save there. So we'll get into Rory's week 5 now. So this was against my week 1 opponent in the Indiana Tracers.
Yeah, so I mean, Badass Frost last played this very well. I basically messaged him afterwards saying, I mean, I think I just got outplayed. I think as well, I don't even know why I brought Celesteela in this game. It literally did nothing. Such a waste. I've since realised a bit of tech that I could have brought with Slowbro to basically get rid of that lining, because during prep I sort of looked at lining good, and that could maybe be a problem. I'm sure I could work my way around it, and I just did not work my way around it at all.
Yeah. And Rocks being up
great.
was obviously, really bad for Torracat. Lost its Eviolite as well.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't bring any hazard removal either, so that was silly of me. Slowbro was actually quite big in this game. I mean, so it was the Salt Vest Regenerator, max HP, max special defense, and it was just taking those special hits. I mean, even the Shadow Ball here from Weezing, that just did nothing. And all I was trying to do was get a Future Sight off, and then obviously just kept bringing in it was the Linoon, and then he has this as well. Yeah, it was just, his team's really good. So he's got Cinderace.
It's just so much offense, but then the defense that he's got is really supportive of his offense.
Yeah, and a lot of pivoting as well, which makes it difficult to get to a solid point of wanting to actually do anything. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the game because it wasn't completely like a total luck base. It wasn't a fluke. There was no hacks or anything like that. He just played really well. I mean, so there I'm trying to do as much damage to that lightning as possible. All I'm doing is just using Protect to get that bit of toxic damage. I mean, there he got me with that. So there you see Sub, Leech Seed, Protect, and Earthquake. That was the only moves I had on Celesteela, and Levitate Weezing just walls that completely. So yeah, I don't know why I brought Celesteela. But yeah, he played really well. Can't take that away from him. I can't actually remember the score. 2-0?
Yeah, it was pretty. I think it was pretty close. Like he just worked his way through the motions. He like you said, he just played extremely well. I think he just knows when to take risks. He works out people's sets really well, and I don't know. He just the way he positions himself in matches is really impressive. I mean, even against me, where I thought I just had a really good matchup, he still made it an incredibly difficult win for me.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's this point. So he was getting really frustrated. Like after the game, he was like, Aromatisse is just broken. So like he, as you can see, has got Kartana, which I believe he told me was banded.
Yeah.
So I managed to read that correctly just about every single time on what move he was going to pick. And it just he couldn't break through Aromatisse with Kartana, which I found fantastic.
Yeah.
So that was the last Darmanitan's last turn in. Couldn't physically do anything because obviously rocks were up for the rest of the game, so why not attack? And then he goes and does this and uses Assurance. So I've already used Future Sight.
Yeah, that was an awesome play by him.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
You said he
because
didn't bring
obviously
it.
his protection against Future Sight, which was just really that was clever.
Yeah. He says he didn't bring it for that. It was more
Just
for the
coverage.
Marowak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he played well. I just got beat, and that's it. It wasn't anything. There's not much to say on it, really. I think Marowak actually lives a hit here and gets a KO.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, just.
Yeah. So I brought a bit of tech on Marowak for that week. Marowak was my main Tapu Koko answer. And he didn't click an electric move on it once, and I had Lightning Rod to completely stop it. All he did was click U-turn, and as you can see at the very end, Dazzling Gleam. So
yeah, but that was a good game. Like,
yeah,
at least you took him to the wire. He's an extremely good player with a very good roster.
Yeah, I can't take anything away from him. I enjoyed it, which is unusual to enjoy a loss.
Yeah. All right, so here's my week 5. So this one was against Sally Mumble. I can just never play well against Sally Mumble. No, not many coaches do. His winning record in this league is just incredible. I think he's lost like 4 games across 3 seasons. He was the season 1 champion. As you can see there, I missed my opportunity to get rocks up. I don't know why. I was just I kind of just had a mind blank there. I played around Starmie really bad, so Rory kind of psyched me out with Starmie. I wasn't too worried about it until he used an agility media beam set. So I kept bringing in Dragapult to use Sucker Punch. I needed to click U-turn probably 2 or 3 times there where I didn't. I was choice banded, so locking yourself into Sucker Punch is never a good idea. So then Vespiquen ends up taking more damage than it needed to, which wasn't good. Me not having Rocks up meant that Vaporeon lived that hit, which meant that Nidoking died, which was really unfortunate. So Vaporeon dies to the poison, but obviously losing Nidoking's never good. I misplayed here as well, which I realized later. So I bring in Dragapult. He brings in his Rillaboom, and seeing that it was a Grassy Surge, Grassy Seed set, I needed to be more concerned about the setup. So I hard switch out where I should have just used U-turn or sacked off Dragapult. He decides to stay in and go for Swords Dance. So if I U-turned there, I would have at least got quite good damage off because I was choice banded. But at this stage, even though he's poisoned, he's at +1 defense and +2 attack, which is obviously really scary position for me. He does have superpower, which takes out the Glastrier, and then I decide to bring back Dragapult, which just means that I've basically thrown away my Glastrier for not much.
Yeah, toxic damage.
Yeah, so then I go for Sucker Punch here. Obviously, him being on a timer, it's less likely he's going to use Swords Dance, so I Sucker Punch to get some damage off, which means that I can take it out with my Azumarill. It was Sipper Belly Drum, which was cool tech, but at this stage, I've only got Azumarill and Cobalion left, so I was just in a position that it just wasn't much fun. There's a lot of things I could have done better in this match. Even bringing in Azumarill at this stage, maybe didn't need to. The fact that I didn't use Stealth Rocks, if I had Mega Horn instead, that could have been a way around the end game as well. But that's fine. Even if I did all these things right, Sally Mumble's still an incredibly good player. So, no guarantee that I would have won, but I would have liked to make it a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wholeheartedly apologise. So during prep, I basically saw that what was it, a rapid spin or agility?
I think it was. I
And
think it was agility. It was agility. Agility,
yeah,
meteor beam. I think psychic and ice beam, maybe, or thunderbolt.
yeah, so sounds about right. That something like that, a set like that, and I brought it in against looking prep, and it did very well. So it made him kind of think I can't just fire off. It made him really want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. So yeah, my bad.
That's
I'll
all
take
good.
responsibility for that one.
Even this turn here, like I probably should have just gone for Stone Edge and hoped for a crit. He was a scarfed Starmie, so that was a good bring by him. But yeah, that was a tough loss. But yeah, I definitely didn't deserve to win that one. And that took me to 3-2. So yeah, sitting at I'm at 3-2 at this stage, and you're obviously at 2-3. So we'll get into your week 6. So we're getting towards the end now. So this one was played on Showdown. Arts had some tech issues. So starting off, he obviously realizes that you're scarfed as you outspeed his Spectra. His Spectra was Specs, so it was choice lock versus choice lock, and you both switch out. I think he needed to switch out to save his Spectra, but you knew he was going to switch out. So that starts off with a really nice read into your Seismitoad.
Yeah. At this point, I'm thinking that the Rotom was scarfed. So I was like, right, I'll Toxic it after its default. It can't do anything to me. It was just basically a lot of really good reads. Really needing to get those rocks up for the chip damage. So at this point, I think I actually found out at this point he was leftovers Rotom, so I had to use Stealth Rocks, and when he swapped out, that was it. Rotom couldn't come back in, so it's one Pokemon down basically.
Yeah.
There I didn't go for Toxic because I watched his week 1 and he had Safeguard on it, so I went for Knockoff, got rid of his Keyberry.
Yeah, that was really good, getting rid of the Keyberry.
Yeah, so I mean, during any practice games, we basically looked at it and went, I need to basically get Darmanitan in anytime I can, and just click a button. And as you can see, it did. I really hate this turn because at one point I did have Shadow Ball on Rotom Mo. I decided to change it for Hex, which just wasn't strong enough.
But I think Volt Switch was probably fine there, which you go for on the next turn. He Moonlights, but yeah, you obviously get Diamond for free, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I recognised at that point that I had to use Icicle Crash because if I U-turn, there was nothing stopping him. Just do another Calm Mind. So that was a big turn in the game that I really wanted to get off. I managed to trick a Lagging Tail.
Yeah, and then you knocked it off.
I managed to trick a Lagging Tail onto the Scarfed Urshifu Rapid Strike, and then I'm off the turn after. So it made it more annoying because the idea was to get it Lagging Tail so that Darmanitan can outspeed everything apart from the Spectra. At this point, there was no way that you would bring in Spectre, so I knew Superpower was free. I just had to let that go down. Noivern was basically my only way to kill, or best way to kill, rather. Gloom might have lived the hit, but Noivern was basically my best way. So I looked at that.
This was a good play here. I like this play. Air Slash. I think he obviously expected the Dark Pulse, but Air Slash obviously put him in range of dying, and you just sort of let Rocks do its work. And then going into Darmanitan was obviously really nice.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised that he swapped out Incineroar at that point. I thought he would have tried to hit whatever comes in, because at that point I would think it would be pretty obvious that Noivern was my only answer. So this week again I brought this set. exactly the same set, but with Sludge Bomb that I did against Champion Brayden.
Yep.
It was one of my best answers, if not the answer to the Urshifu. And looking at what was left as well, I realised sort of Harry did its job. Literally just used Trick.
Yeah, well, at this point, Spectre is in range of Stealth Rock, so you know that you're sacking something off, but then you can just bring in Noivern, and you know that handles that. So it was obviously very nice. I think this turn he sort of thought about it a bit, but I think you wanted to save Noivern or the Urshifu from memory.
Yeah, because I knew.
And Cresselia wasn't really threatening your dumb N10. It only had, I think, stored power to hit you with, and unboosted it wasn't doing much. Like you saw there, it did 8%.
Yeah, I felt really bad about that flinch. I think it mattered. It sort of
made things easier.
Sped things up, basically. So that was huge. See, there you go, just strength stat right back up to full. And I thought I would Leech Seed to get that right back down. I thought about sitting in using Infestation there to try and just get the chip, but apparently it didn't matter. And then I just went for
and that was just safe. Knowing you had Drain Punch, obviously you didn't want Urshifu healing itself back up.
Yeah. And I missed the Leech Seed. I actually thought to myself, I think you can hear me say, does Safeguard stop Infestation or does it stop Leech Seed? I should have just went for the Infestation just to definitely get the damage and the chip damage, because Infestation does a lot. Is it like an 8th or a 10th? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's an 8th.
I forget every single time that we look at this.
Yeah, it's more than most people expect. It's Infestation. You've obviously used it a lot this season, but it's not something you see a lot.
No, I can't remember. It's like an 8th or a 10th of health, so it's like, it's a lot. It lasts for 5 turns.
Yeah. Alright. We'll get into my week 6. So we're starting to cross over a little bit where we're playing against opponents that we've now both played against. So I'm up against Jorge this time, so for links to Guadalajara. Missing that high horsepower was really frustrating because it meant that I took damage that I didn't need to. So I take the Scold here, which got Glastrier lower than I wanted it to. I didn't really need to go for high horsepower, so that was frustrating, but obviously missing a 95% move is never nice. I switch out here after the Yawn, which, to be fair, I probably could have just stayed in to get rid of Marsh Stomp, which would mean that Rocks wouldn't have been up for the rest of the match because I didn't have removal. Probably would have been a good play, but he does get Rocks up, which was really frustrating. And then obviously I take it out with Dragapult, so Dragapult finally did something.
It's just at this point in the game that, I think you say it in your thing, he's just got Grimmsnarl, which could just do anything.
This was his good play. This was an awesome play here by him. Put me on the back foot. So he gets in Grimmsnarl, and then he knows I'm bringing in Nidoking, and he goes to Salamence, which was massive. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I'm basically saying the same thing. He's just got really easy Pokemon to use. So anytime you can get Grimmsnarl in for free, so like that against Dragapult. I mean, Grimmsnarl is basically designed to be the anti-Dragapult Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then Urshifu, single strike. You just get it in for free and you click Wicked Blow. It's not hard to use.
Yeah. But as you see here, all these things combined. So I had that miss from the high horsepower, letting Rocks go up, and then the crit with the Earthquake just demolished Glastrier. So Glastrier just had no luck in this game. He got a Meteor Mash boost here, which was massive because it put Cobalion in range of his Earthquake. I really wanted to get Rocks up at this stage because I thought they were really necessary. But yeah, the Meteor Mash boost there let him kill Cobalion Cobalion when he shouldn't have been able to, but then also gets big damage off on Dragapult from the boost before he dies. The crit there didn't matter. And then Dragapult went down basically because I couldn't switch it out because it had gotten low from the boosted Bullet Punch. Here I messed up. So he had a boosted Raikou that he'd spammed Carmine with and sub. I messed this up big time because I thought I'd lost. I thought Raikou was just going to win here. I went for Bulldoze, realizing after that Play Rough was enough to kill, and obviously Play Rough would be really good against Salamence and Urshifu. I was Choice Scarfed, so yeah, so obviously locking myself into Bulldoze was really bad. If I was locked into Play Rough, you know, he can't bring in Urshifu for free here. He could also, at this stage, I knew that Salamence was scarfed, so I could just pick my moves a bit better. But yeah, I missed my opportunity there. That was the last opportunity. So even though, you know, I did feel pretty unlucky with a lot of these moves, I still did get to the end game where I did have a little bit of a chance. But yeah, I just blew it there. He had a choice banded Urshifu, choice scarf Salamence, and yeah, just really easy moves to spam. If I could get Salamence in a position to lock into Earthquake, I could have brought in Tangela, which could have brought the game back for me with the set that it brought, to, you know, get rid of, to sort of deal with Urshifu a bit better, and then yeah, it just it was frustrating. It was frustrating.
Yeah. It's just at that point you're like, you know yourself. It's like, damn. Right, okay. Yeah. But
it was a good match. Yeah. If I either played a little bit better or got a little bit luckier, you know, either one of them was probably enough to get the win. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
yeah, I think right at that point where you miss the high horsepower, it's just so unfortunate because, you know, you're at that point. If you'd done that, you would have got, I don't know, the calcs, but obviously you would have got a lot of damage off.
Well, he was behind a sub, so all I needed to do was break a sub, but because he was behind the sub, he got to hit me twice instead of once. Yeah, but you know, I didn't play it particularly well, so when you don't play well and you lose, you know, that's fine. Alright, so now we're up to week 7, so this will be the final week, obviously, that we'll go through, and then we'll leave you to watch the final 3 rounds on your own as they come up. So we've got Rory's week 7 here, which has just been played, so we'll put these videos out after our week 7 videos go out. Yeah, so you get the lead right here, getting in Darmanitan against Hippowdon. Ballsy play by Southside Braves here. He decides to stay in as you turn out. So obviously an Icicle Crash there would be massive because, yeah, obviously comfortably takes out Hippowdon.
Well, I can't remember if I took it out or did a lot, but it was basically your game threw me off with this because he'd used the Life Orb Hippowdon.
You were scarfed though, so I don't think Hippowdon was worth being scared about there. Yeah, the misplay here, obviously bringing in Rotom when you had an Assault Vest, Slowbro Gala, but then he gets the crit, which was obviously really unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I just woke up. I was not in the right mindset.
Yeah.
I forgot all the plan, basically. The plan was Slowbro Gala, it was the max, and then this as well.
Yeah, you missed the media beam, so lets him Carmine for free. Like, things are just not going well in this match.
No.
You know, you media beam again because you weren't in range of dying. He gets another crit. I think I don't think you were in range of dying at that point because he was a bulkier set.
No, I don't think I was.
So you would have got a +2 media beam off, and obviously after the Autotomize, that was you know, still had opportunities to win that. Because yeah, at a plus, because you're was Lycanroc still faster though, because he He was a scarfed Lycanroc. Was he faster than you after your autotomize? He probably was, wasn't he?
I can't remember actually.
Yeah. But obviously it would have been a much better position to be in. But obviously losing like that's never nice. So another game like my last one, where combination of things not going your way and not playing your best game. Sometimes they just go hand in hand. When some things go not so well, so do others. It's obviously easier to play well when things are going your way.
Yeah, I mean, I've not actually got what I had up. I can't remember the spread itself, but I mean, a scarfed Lycanroc was not expected, to be honest. It was not expected at all. Because the idea is obviously that's hitting hard with a Cell Rock.
Yeah.
I can't really say much more about the game. I'm annoyed that I lost it because I had the plan there. Just the same, or almost the same Slowbro set. Max HP, Special Defense, Assault Vest. Had coverage moves. If you watch it, I actually had Drain Punch for a Weavile switch in, which was kind of ballsy, but I knew I could survive anything but a banded Weavile knockoff. So I could have survived the full health hit and then got the Drain Punch off. So yeah, basically I just switched in the wrong Pokemon, and I really needed Rotom to stay alive to get rid of Rocks. It just didn't play it well. I was kind of annoyed, but so that's me 3 to 4. Chances of playoffs are slipping away slowly.
Yeah, I think we sort of worked out, with 3 weeks left, it's probably either get to 5 wins with a good differential or 6 wins. I think 6 wins doesn't guarantee it, but I think it puts you in a good position, or both of us in a good position, because the top teams are kind of pulling away. There's some teams at the bottom, and then there's a massive scramble in the middle of teams that are sitting on 3 or 4 wins. So it'll be interesting to see what the cutoff actually ends up being.
Yeah, it's minuscule. There's like 4 or 5 people with the same scores, and just because of 1 or 2 differential. Yeah,
it's crazy. So after our week 6 matches, Rory actually tossed up all these trades and got me thinking, and then right on the deadline I decided to make some big moves. So I decided to give away my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, so no more Dragapult, no more Azumarill, no more Cobalion, and I also got rid of Xatu, which I just never felt like I wanted to bring it. Even the weeks where I probably should have brought it, I just chose not to. So got rid of them, and then we pick up some Pokemon that I just really wanted to use. So I really wanted to use Tapu Lele and Komodo. So they were 2 Pokemon that I've been looking at for a while and wanted to fit them into a draft team. So I wanted to pick up some things that could support them a little bit. Skarmory was a good Steel type, which fitted what I thought I needed it to do. And then Excelgor to replace some of the speed control that Dragapult was giving. Obviously base speed of, I think it's 145, which is, I think it's second fastest behind Ninjask. But yeah, Tapu Lele, Komodo, and Skarmory. It's a nice core. I think I'll enjoy using it. And I did bring them all to my week 7 match, which I'll pull up now. Yes, this was a cool match. So I was really afraid of Clefable. I did pick up that he wasn't a Magic Guard set, which was the one I was worried about, the Magic Guard Life Orb set. So I'm like, cool. Glastrier comes into that pretty nicely. I did predict that it was a Stealth Rock set, so I wanted to get Glastrier in before Stealth Rocks were up. And then, one hit KO with Heavy Slam, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good move. Really good move.
I had a Rocky Helmet on Skarmory, and I could just roost my way away while he just died to his burn. I think he didn't knock off my Rocky Helmet. I don't think he had knockoff.
Yeah, he just did right there.
I did. But yeah, he's obviously just not wanting to risk anything, so he keeps his Obstagoon in. I just keep roosting up, which I don't like these sort of little plays like this, but you know, I knew I could get myself. I knew I could get myself in a range where I was at full health, and if he stayed in, he would die. Rocks were up as well, so even added to that, which was really nice.
Yeah. Can we just appreciate how cool a shiny Obstagoon is?
It's very cool. I like Obstagoon. I've got to draft it eventually. It's just yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a tough matchup. Like Ragerbonsai's got a really cool team. Like that core of Clefable, Jirachi, and Garchomp's just
yeah,
tough.
What was it? The whole week was just, I can't remember how many teams you went through.
Oh yeah, I really struggled.
For trying to figure out what it was. I think at this point, were you not?
At this stage, all I wanted to do was get damage off on Garchomp, so I was pretty happy to sack Skarmory off just to get good damage off.
Yeah, that crit. I don't think the crit really mattered because you just wanted enough damage off on it.
Yeah, I think I just wanted it under half, I think, because I wanted it to be in range of I think Earth Power from Nidoking.
Yeah, it's a cool looking Umbreon.
Yeah. Yes, this is this is a fan made sprite. So
it's the evolution we all need.
Yeah. Yeah, so he goes for the Flinch Rachi this week, so he went for a Choice Scarf Ironhead spam set. He gets a crit here, which a flinch here, which put me in a pretty tricky position. Obviously, without that flinch there, you know, I'm sitting pretty good. I think it's another one here actually. From memory, no, yeah, I wished. Yeah, so I flinched twice in a row there.
Yeah, he does.
But I wanted to save Umbreon as a sack. So at this point, because of the two flinches, Umbreon was almost useless. But I wanted to keep one sack. Just because I had the Choice Banded and Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, I just knew that having a sack around would be really handy. Switching Komodo and pray to not get flinched twice. Fortunately, he didn't get a flinch.
Yeah, during prep, this team was no joke to look at and think about. Like you said, that 3 core, and obviously having Mantine as the defogger and, you know, specially defensive wall. Arcanine, again, intimidate, physically defensive. And then you've got Obstagoon as well, which just hits everything so hard when it does come in. Obviously Garchomp could be so versatile and basically do whatever it wants apart from Dragon Dance. So
yeah, I brought in Glastrier here just to make sure he couldn't Sword Dance.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had Earthquake and Rock Slide, which was enough to take me out here. He was also running really low on time, which I don't think he realized. But yeah, I still had that. I think that Umbreon sitting there was really important for me, just for that extra sack. Tapu Lele still, you know, really healthy, was obviously nice as well. Yeah, I was okay with my position. I almost went for Thunderbolt on that turn, but it wasn't worth the risk.
No. I didn't realize he was so low on time.
Yeah. I took a risk here, but I thought I was okay with it based on the moves that he'd already shown me. Yeah, getting Nidoking. This scared the hell out of me because he hit the Hurricane and he confused me as well. And I'm like, oh my god, this is not good. If I die from you know, confusion here, this is horrible. But yeah, go for the Thunderbolt, get the kill. And then at this point, he does end up running out of time, but at this point, all I needed to do was let either Umbreon or Nidoking die, and then get in Tapu Lele and hit Psychic twice. So Yeah, I don't think the time was a massive issue, but yeah, it was really nice getting that win there because I knew I needed the win, but in prep, it just looked like it was going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, yeah. I think at the end it was definitely sealed. No, there's no doubt about it. Just a double psychic. I mean, Scarfed Lele's no joke.
Yeah,
So yeah, especially the
it's
psychic surge just boosting itself as it goes. I'm so glad it doesn't get expanding force.
yeah,
So glad.
yeah. Yeah, so that's obviously my first game with those trades, so we'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure if it makes my team better or worse. What it does do is if I make playoffs and have any rematches, probably gives me a slight upper hand there in that, you know, those players are playing against a new team, whereas, you know, most other coaches have left their squads the way they were. But yeah, that's where we're sitting. So Rory's sitting at 3 and 4. I'm at 4 and 3, which I think, like, I'm happy with where I'm sitting. You know, it's a very tough league. I mean, both seasons I've played so far, I think I've just made it into playoffs, which I'm really happy with. I think if you can make playoffs, you know, that's kind of a big deal. Only 8 out of the 20 coaches make it, and, you know, everyone's obviously extremely good. So we'll see how we go. Definitely watch out for those matches as they drop. Like I said, this video will drop after the Week 7 full matches come out, so you can watch them before this highlights package comes out. But yeah, anything you want to add to that, Rory?
No, just maybe yeah, I'm happy with the way the league's been going so far. Obviously weeks 1 and 2 are kind of annoying. And then I mean the last game, so week 7 there, I definitely think could have went the other way
Yeah,
had I actually had my brain at the time. Um, but oh, that's what I hadn't had coffee yet actually after I woke up. That's what the problem was. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think scores could be a bit different, and as you've pointed out onto your game against Pat Mac, if Azamaro had actually decided to hit that player off, the game
yeah,
could have been totally different. So, but again, I could have totally missed, say for example, that Draco Meteor that won the game against
yeah,
Sir Jorge. So it could have went the other way, and then I would have been really, really salty.
yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's, you know,
so
that's what happens in, you know, you don't notice these things as much in, you know, if there's any leagues that aren't quite as competitive and you win most of your games, you know, you don't have those really big 50-50 turns where if, you know, things go wrong, they end up as a loss. You know, you have your unlucky moments, but you don't notice them as much. Whereas, you know, in this league, if something goes against you, you know, they very easily cost you the game.
yeah, it's other leagues I've seen that, or other leagues I've participated in. If you make a mistake, you can not claw your way back, but it's like, all right, cool, I can work my way out of this and
Yeah,
do this, that. Whereas this one, it's like, oh, I missed the move. Oh, I've lost.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, pretty much.
But it's just because the amount of prep that goes into doing the games properly, you're ready for everything they can do, and one mistake will get absolutely punished,
Yeah,
which is really good. And like you mentioned at the start, pardon me, what you mentioned at the start and what I mentioned is basically I feel the improvement, essentially. So yeah, more than happy to do this, and I'm actually already looking forward to season 4.
yeah. Nah, me too. All right, I'll let you all go now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for week 8.